What's going on, YouTube? We're back with Shades, and we're continuing our Let's Play of Katawa Shoujo. Sorry, I ate a little bit. Last time we left off, I think Hisao was finally getting the process in which Emi mentally handles her problems. And I think he's finally formulating a way to finally get her to open up, while simultaneously keeping her in her comfort zone. Or at least, like, trying to like try to push her out of it, because I think this game's leading me on the path to the good path. I hope, because I have not looked at a walkthrough. Because sorry, I'm eating chips. These are really good. But yeah, I think Muto's advice was like a key part of the game, where it's like if you went away and say you're in a rush or something, you would never have gotten that information, and if you didn't, you would be stuck, because like because I think what the game is trying to tell me is that when dealing with Emi, in order to find the source of the problem, you can't, or at least trying to find a way to the source of the problem, is that you can't go to her directly. You have to go to the people around her and have them give them as much information as they can. Because again, the promise they made not to tell anyone about their problem, about the actual accident. So yeah, that's what I've been noticing so far. So, and everyone's advice seems to be helping Hisao along the way. So hopefully we can get the good ending out of this, because if it's wrong, I'm gonna be really I'm gonna cry. Okay, like I'm too invested to get a bad ending right now. The sound of my alarm is an unwelcome intrusion on a sleep that's been a battle to obtain. I doubt I've been truly asleep for more than an hour or two. Too much on my mind. Did I make the right choice leaving the house yesterday? Did I manage to get Emi to realize how unreasonable she's been? Am I ever going to manage to get her to stop being unreasonable? Emi's mom gave me a new perspective the other day, but I'm still not sure that it's the right perspective. She was hurt when I left yesterday too. I know that part of any conversation is going to have to include an apology about that. Right thing to do or not, I heard her. I hurried down to the track, eager to talk to Emi. I think I know what to say. Apologies for leaving first, and go ahead from there. Unless of course Emi doesn't show up. Which, from the looks of things, seems like the case, and it's been about 15 minutes since I got here and there's no sign of her. She's never late, and unless she's sick, which is unlikely, she probably just doesn't want to see me right now. To take my mind off what it implies, I begin my warm-up routine and take off around the track. It clears my mind wonderfully. For the half hour I'm running, I don't think about anything else but the run. However, once I've finished, and Emi still hasn't shown up, I get a little worried. With any luck, the nurse will know what she is. If nothing else, I can see what he thinks I should do next. So last night didn't go too well, I take it. Huh? You already know? I have my ways, and it's not as if I'd missed that distinct absence of your running partner this morning, how would I? No, I suppose not. So what happened? Don't you know already? Maybe, but I could be bluffing. Perhaps I'd prefer to get your side of the story before I give any advice. I quickly filled the nurse in on the events of last night, and he takes it all in without a changing expression once. Nothing about the whole event seems to surprise him, although it does seem to surprise when I say I didn't follow Emi. Chose to talk to her mom instead, huh? Smart move. Though I guess it didn't work out too well for you in the end. Well, I'm not sure. Emi seemed apologetic when I left, or at least she seemed that way until she put up her defenses again. Nurse sighs and spreads his hand in a conciliatory gesture. Sorry about the weird cut, ladies and gents. I had to get the mail. Frankly, I'm surprised she let them down at all. Emi's had a lot of practice on that score. You probably won't get anything else out of her. I don't believe you. Is that so? You think she'll tell you the whole tale? I'd swear I just saw the nurse's eyes glitter a little. His expression is the same, but he leans forward ever so slightly. I think she'll open up if I ask her without being an idiot about it. Yeah, sorry about the... Again, yeah, sorry about the weird cuts. It's a little weird. Nurse gives an enigmatic smile in response and shrugs widely. I think he's enjoying this role a little too much. That's the real trick, isn't it? Are you sure you want to know right away to approach the subject? I can guarantee that Emi's going to try her hardest to pretend last night didn't happen. It'll be painfully awkward for the both of you, but it'll also be a lot safer than trying to ask her for the whole story again. It could go worse this time. Are you ready for something like that? It sounds like a challenge, and like he doesn't believe for a minute that I'd be so bold. I actually feel a little insulted by his lack of confidence in me. Of course I'm ready for that. I love her. Meowbriggs gets a raised eyebrow in response. Well then. Good luck, let me know how it all turns out. Although he delivers his parting shot with the same smirk as usual, I actually think that the nurse wants me to succeed. Sorry guys, I'm hungry. And this is really good. The game and the food. But yeah, of course he wants him to succeed. Why wouldn't he? I mean, he cares about Emmy, clearly. Oops. Oh fuck. I resist the urge to charge directly to Emmy's room to prove the nurse wrong. I've gone in half-cocked before, and the result was less than stellar. If I'm going to do this, I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it. Something to think about in class. Sure enough, by the time lunch rolls around, I think I have a good enough idea of what to say. I can do this. The bell rings and I grab my lunch and dash up the stairs, eager to be there first. I'll need to ask Rin to leave, and I'll need to... Hi, Isao. Sorry I wasn't able to run with you this morning. I overslept. Somehow both Emmy and Rin have managed to get to the roof before me. Oh, that's no problem. Last night was kind of draining, I guess. Emmy's expression doesn't alter in the slightest. Yeah, sorry about that, but I've had such a weird morning since then. Oh, really? Emmy proceeds to make small talk for the rest of the time. I can barely get a word in edgewise, and I soon find myself interjecting with sort of back-and-forth dialogue that seems to have defined our early relationship. I'm not going to get anywhere on this problem during lunch, obviously. I can respect that. Emmy obviously doesn't want to accidentally pull Rin into things, and that's fine. Not that I think Rin would notice, but I can at least respect the sort of rationale. I try a different tactic. Hey, Emmy, what are you up to after class today? I was thinking we can go somewhere for dinner or something. Emmy looks genuinely remorseful. Sorry, Hisao, I promised the track captain I'd stick around after practice and help out some of the other kids with their form. It'll have to be some other time. Yeah, sure. I'm honestly not sure what to do now. Maybe diving into things the day after would be a bad idea anyway. She might still be angry about it and just not showing it. Besides, if she's got track team responsibilities, that's fine, right? I tell myself some variation on this theme the next day, then the next. I wake up, run with Emmy, during which she refused to talk about anything about the run and what she was doing the night before. Then lunch. Oh god, did I do something bad? We sit and make small talk until the bell rings. Her new responsibilities effectively keep you from seeing her outside of school. Maybe, just maybe, I'm letting it happen because it's safer this way, just like the nurse said. Except while it may be safer, I'm feeling more and more wretched. Emmy doesn't look good, and when I see her anymore, dark circles lurk under her eyes. She seems more distracted. I can't bring myself to ask what's wrong, because the timing never seems right. I'm absolutely miserable. Oh god, did I make a mistake? I'm so scared right now, guys. Like, absolutely scared. I'm gonna take more bites of the chips. Sorry guys, I just need that. Because god, this is making me so sad. I feel like I've made the wrong decision. Power through it. Power through it, Shades. Come on. We got this. Another lunch comes. I trudge up the stairs to the rooftop like a condemned man. Rin is up there, but Emmy is not. Immediately I worry that something happened to her. Maybe the lack of sleep finally made her collapse, or something worse. She seems pretty tired after our morning run. Maybe she fell asleep and didn't even make it to class. Hey Rin, where's Emmy? In response, I get a rather penetrating look from Rin, and something approaching a frown appears on her face. Is that information really important? I think so. She's usually here with you, isn't she? I don't know. I have no way of being sure. God damn it, Rin. She clearly knows something. I confirm that she is in fact usually here with you when I come up. Well, she isn't now. Does that worry you? Kind of. Oh. There seems to be an end to the conversation at the point becomes moot anyway because Emmy bounced the door with her usual energy. He sounds kind of worried He sounds kind of worried about you, Emmy. I don't think he can decide, or maybe I just didn't believe him, but I think I'm gonna go somewhere less awkward now. What the hell? I'm so surprised by Rin suddenly being forward about, well, anything at all, that I merely watch her head through the door. Emmy is similarly surprised, and the color is slightly crimson as she stares open-mouthed at me. It occurs to me that I probably should say something if only to break the awkward silence that suddenly descended. It's because you weren't here yet, and I was, worried about it. Why? You're usually here, so I was worried that something had happened to you. This isn't the first time that I've been late, you know. Did you get worried all the other times, too? Not really. Emmy seems slightly amused by this. I don't know why, but that kind of pisses me off. So why was this time an exception? Maybe it's a light, teasing tone of the question, but something in her response pushes me to be honest, though I can't help snapping at her when I say it. Because you've been worrying me since dinner at your house, that's why. This music doesn't help. For all I know, something bad's about to happen, and I'm scared to hit that button. Well, now it's out in the open, and Emmy's eyes are wide, and she looks like she wants to bolt, but doesn't. Still on that, I see. What, you think I'm supposed to just forget about it? You threw me out of your house, we've been going on for almost a week pretending it never happened. I didn't see you bringing it up either, you know. I know, and I'm sorry that was the case. We have to address it, or we'll just keep this whatever it is we've got right now. It's killing me to look at how you look right now. Did you know that? Those circles under your eyes and the distracted look in them. I can't help but worrying that I've caused it somehow. You haven't, trust me. Well, I haven't helped either. I just keep pushing you to tell me things you aren't ready to tell me. Maybe I was wrong to try to get your mother to help me out, but I've been so worried about you that I didn't know what else to do. Well, you don't have to worry about me anymore, okay? I think it's pretty clear we're not right for each other, so maybe we should just stop. Oh god, did I make the wrong decision? Oh god, no! I did the bad! Guys! I'm gonna go through this to the end, and if it's a bad ending, well, shit. Her face is twisted up as she says this, like she doesn't want to say it, but forces herself to anyway. You don't actually want that, do you? Heck, you can barely bring yourself to say it. Anyway, I'll keep you from worrying about you. I care too much about you just to stop on command. You don't want to tell me what's wrong, that's fine, but I won't stop me trying to help you, even if it's just standing by you. Stop saying that! She's shaking now, and as she looks at me, I can't see she's afraid and frustrated and a million different things all at once. I shake my head slowly and take a few steps toward her. You know what your mom told me? She told me that you'd never ask for help, because you know that you're strong enough to get through it anyway on your own, but it's not the full story, is it? Her eyes go wide and she takes a step back. I keep going because I think I've finally figured it out. Something tells me I won't get another shot. I've put it off far too long as it is. There's no harm in having someone help you unless you're worried about needing his help in the first place. You're scared, aren't you, because of... I try it because I don't know for certain what happened to Emmy's father, and I don't want to jump to a conclusion. Well, never mind why, but it's okay to be afraid. You've been running from it and from me for so long. Even though eventually you have to turn around and face your fear. I'm gonna be there to help you when you do. I won't stop because I don't think you'd want me to. You can understand the sort of determination, can't you? I can see that I've gotten through to her, but she quickly falls back to anger to try to push me away again. Back on your white charger, Hisao? Gonna help the poor cripple face her emotional problems? What do you know about me, and about what I've already had to face? You think 2 months of learning to walk again was fun, but I did it after I did that I had to. For a moment it seems she's gonna say something else, but she cuts herself off. And after all that, you don't think you can get past your fear? Emmy, I can't fathom what you've been through, but to come through it and still be the sort of girl that you are, well, it makes me think you've had even more strength than you think. So I'm not gonna help you because I think you need rescuing. I don't want to be a knight rescuing a damsel in distress, but even knights helped each other out, you know. I want to help you, even though I know you can do it on your own. For a moment, it looks like Emmy's gonna break down completely, but she doesn't. Tears run down her face, but she stares at me steadily. Why are you trying so hard to help me? I'd say it's because I owe you one for helping me out when we first met, but that wouldn't be the truth. The truth is I just want you to be happy because I love you. Ugh, God. This hurts. This hurts a lot, guys. Had I ever said that before? We've been in a relationship, and it's been pretty obvious that I love her, but did I actually ever speak the words? I can honestly say you didn't, because you said it when she was asleep. What did you say? I said it again, savoring the feeling of being able to say it at all. Being able to say it and mean it. Emmy seemed stunned. I said I love you, Emmy. I love you. Just you, and that makes me want to stand by you, no matter what you have to face. I'm wrapped in a fierce hug then, as Emmy begins to sob against my chest. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything, but I'm so scared, Hisao. I'm so scared of losing you, and I love you too, but I can't lose you. I'm so sorry. I can't do the crying voice, I'm sorry. I can only do it in a guy voice, and that's a lot easier than a girl voice. I hold her quietly, shushing her until she settles down. She steps back, a little more composed. Will you come with me tomorrow, back to my house? There are some things I need to show you, if I'm gonna do this. Of course, maybe this time we can leave together, instead of separately. Emmy grins, a sudden flash of brightness that seems more genuine than anything I've seen in the past week. Yeah, maybe. The lunch bell rings, and I curse the universe's poor sense of timing. Are you free tonight? We can talk more then, right? Emmy shakes her head. Sorry, Hisa, but I'm still helping the track team. Plus, I don't think it would be good if we talked this over tonight. I'm gonna be too tired to think properly, and I want to be able to tell you everything without screwing it up. Oh god, I was so scared. I'm so scared. You can wait, right? Even now, there's a bit of fear in her voice. I smile and rest a hand on her shoulder. Okay, I'll be waiting. Amy gives me a quick kiss before she heads off for the stairwell. Thanks, Hisao. See you tomorrow morning. Wouldn't miss it. I head down the stairs with the feel of her lips on mine, suddenly aware of how much I've missed the sensation. I'll have to remember to thank Rin for getting us to talk to one another. Although it's possible she won't even realize what she's done. Still, if not for her, I doubt I've ever been able to confront Emmy again. I guess I needed more help than I realized. Tomorrow, however, I'll need to stand alone through whatever Emmy's trying to work herself up to doing. I'll be up to the task, I hope. Guys, I was so scared. I thought she was breaking up with us and we hit a bad end. I'm so scared. I was so scared. Okay, it seems that we're going down the correct path for now. But jeez. This entire thing scares me to death. This morning sun's bright through my open window, and the sound of my alarm quickly has me up and about. I slept surprisingly well last night, secure in the knowledge that at least I've gotten another chance with Emmy. If I can keep myself from doing anything stupid, maybe I'll find out what's been eating her recently. I have a few educated guesses, but nothing concrete, and certainly nothing that I'm going to say to her. I'd much prefer her to have her tell her myself. Have her tell me herself. Though I can't help but remembering the nurse's warning that I might not like what she has to say. Do I really need to know that badly? What if it's something awful that makes me repulsed by her? Can I say that I'm really prepared to handle whatever she has to say, regardless of what it is? Emma said she wanted to tell me without screwing it up. What the hell did she mean by that? What's let her screw up? I suppose there's not much use worrying about it, though. I'll find out today. It occurs to me that I really need to run this morning, to clear my head if nothing else. Emmy's waiting for me as promised, looking a little haggard, but otherwise bright and cheerful, much more so than any previous day this week. Kisa, you're late! I waved my hand dismissively. Nonsense! You're just early. Emmy grins back, and I feel like we're finally back where we should be with one another. Except now, Emmy, not just me, wants to take another step forward, although a part of me worries that she'll be back out at the last second. Hurry up and stretch, he said. I don't want to miss the bus. The bus? I said I wanted you to come back to my house, remember? And I promised Mom we'd be there in time for lunch, so I wanted to hurry. Early start, huh? It's more for my mom's benefit than anything else. Oh, well, that's okay. I unsuccessfully try to guess what Emmy has planned shortly before realizing that it doesn't matter that much to me. I quickly go through my warm-up routine while Emmy bounces impatiently from one foot to the other. She really does seem to want to get moving as soon as possible. The run is over so quickly I can barely believe that I haven't fallen over dead afterwards. Emmy's at a blistering pace and I, in my foolishness, kept up with her. I don't die, do I? Wait, well into the last few steps I had to slow down just in case, but I don't mind, and Emmy's waiting patiently for me when I finished. Oops. As patiently as she can wait, anyway. Finished? Good, come on! Grabbing my arm, she practically rushes me down to the nurse's office. You seem to be in a hurry, Emmy, trying to catch the early bus. Yeah, I told my mom I'd be back for lunch. Well, I'll take care of you first, then. But Hisao's gotta come with me, too! The nurse raises a single eyebrow at the statement and peers at the two of us searchingly. Really? Today, huh? Emmy's response is a nod, followed by a surprisingly shy grin. Well then, we'll make this quick. Emmy enters the nurse's office and I patiently wait outside for her to be finished, wondering just why the nurse seemed to be surprised by Emmy's declaration. I feel like I'm missing out on some joke or significance of today, but beyond the fact that it's clearly significant in some way, of course. I'm guessing that it's the anniversary of the accident. And I'm guessing she's finally ready to tell everything. And I'm guessing the nurse knows all about this. And of course, he probably makes this assumption too, but can't confirm it because he's stupid. True to his word, the nurse has set Emmy out of his office surprisingly quickly, and I take her place after promising to meet up at the front gate. The nurse takes my pulse and listens for a bit. Your heart beats faster than usual. Been pushing yourself again, have you? Well, Emmy seems to be in a rush to get through the run, so... Hey, I'm not surprised. Today's rather important to her, you know. I suspected that it could be the case, but I have no idea why that's the case. She hasn't told you? Interesting. So you're not going to tell me either, then? No, I'm not. I suspect that Emmy has her own plan for explaining today to you, and I don't want to mess with that. You'll find out soon enough, so what's the rush? As for your heart, I would take it easy for the rest of the day. No spontaneous races or anything like that. Got it? Got it. She won't have her running legs on anyway, right? No, but if you think something like that's gonna stop her. Good point. I don't think that'll be much of an issue today of all days, but still. If he's trying to reassure me, he's doing a terrible job. I'm quickly becoming more and more worried about what today could be for, like suddenly finding out Emmy's in a cult or something. At the same time, if today's such a big deal and Emmy wants me to be with her for it, then maybe she really does want to grow closer to me. Maybe this will be the answer to all the riddles, to all the sleepless nights and the sudden mood swings. Either way, I barely remembered to thank the nurse before taking off as quickly as I dare from my room, to get a shower and throw on some decent-looking clothes. If today is as important as it seems to be, I should dress appropriately. Emmy, of course, proves me wrong as soon as I reach the front gate, wearing her usual shirt and shorts, so at least I know it's not a terribly formal affair, whatever it is. You're early, Hisao. Not as early as you. Eager, are we? Emmy cheekily pokes her outer tongue. The bus stop isn't very crowded at this hour, which seems to please Emmy, and we end up relaxing a little as we wait. We sit in silence for a while, but I can tell that Emmy's trying to work herself up to say something. I don't have anything to say myself, so I sit waiting for her to talk, and it doesn't take too long. So, I'm sure you're curious as to why the nurse thought it would be weird for me to bring you along today. I was a bit yes, but if you're not ready to tell me... Emmy stops my sentence by placing a finger on my lips. Don't tempt me, Hisa. I want to tell you this, but I'm just uncertain as to how to go about it. I don't want to keep delaying or deferring, I just want to be able to say it. So say it. You know that it's not going to be that easy for me, Hisao. So treat it like running. Warm up to it with something small and easy, and go from there. But don't do it too fast, okay? I'm a patient man. I can wait for you to get there. Emmy seems to consider my words, weighing them against what probably a desire to get over with. I will admit, as much as I keep telling Emmy to take her time, I wouldn't mind getting it over with either. But somehow I know that Emmy probably needs more time than the bus ride will provide to get it all out, whatever it is. Yeah, maybe you're right. The bus stop probably isn't the best place for this anyway. But just to make sure that I don't go back on my word, I'll at least say this. She takes a deep breath and lets it out. After a moment, says in a low voice, We're going to see my dad today. The words hang in the air, and I can see that Emmy's afraid that I'll panic and disappear in response, which a part of me almost wants to. Why? Why? Like, if my assumption is correct, which I'm 90% sure it is, if even if I'm wrong, and like her dad's still alive and they just don't get along or something like that, like, you're meeting her dad. That's a good thing. But it would be stupid of me to back out, or to suddenly abandon the promise I made that I would be there for Emmy when she needs me. The nurses thought it was so weird of her to bring me along, so she doesn't bring anyone else along. Or at least I'm willing to bet that she hasn't before today. The day seems to take on an even greater significance. What has it taken to Emmy to get even this far? Ah, and why is that the best I can manage as a response? Yeah. Oh yeah, I don't know what I should say. Nothing, I think. Just promise that you're gonna come with me. Of course! You know I will. Emmy smiles wanly, looking a little relieved. Good, in that case we'd better get going. The bus pulls up just a little after she finishes the sentence. Vague memories of my first trip out come to mind as I step off the bus, but unfortunately they're too vague to be of any use. I'll be the first to admit that I don't quite recall how to get to Emmy's house, so let her lead the way. She seems content to walk in silence as I have no idea what I could possibly say, so the two of us arrive at her house having said nothing since getting off the bus. For some reason I thought they said bus twice. Emmy's mother opens the door and doesn't seem surprised to see me standing next to her daughter. I expected Emmy would have phoned ahead just to let her mother know of the change in plans. Emmy, Hisa, you're just in time. Lunch is just about ready. Great! I was afraid we might be running late. As fast as you were going this morning, I doubt there was much of a chance of that. I certainly hope she wasn't too much of a bother, Hisao. She tends to get a little paranoid about being on time when food's involved. I hadn't noticed. This earns me a swat on the arm from Emmy, who despite the serious nature of our conversation on the bus and the almost brooding quiet walk has quickly become cheerful again. I'll probably keep her mother from worrying about whatever it is Emmy's plans to tell me later. Oh god. Oh god. Okay, if this episode goes over time, I'm gonna go as long as I possibly can. I don't care. Mrs. Ibarazaki ushers us in, and in a short order we are on the table devouring lunch. I hadn't realized how hungry I was until I got here, but for once I seem to be eating almost as much as Emmy. Goodness, it's a good thing I made so much. The two of you are acting like you haven't eaten in days. I skipped breakfast this morning. Me too. Had to catch the bus, I assume. That, and I figured you'd make too much food so it wouldn't matter if I skipped breakfast. Well, it's good to know that I'm predictable. Emmy nods enthusiastically, and the conversation falls off again as we very nearly clear the table of anything edible. And it's a testament to the sheer amount of food on offer that we don't finish everything. I lean back in my chair with a sigh and thank Mrs. Ibarazaki for the food. I'm glad you liked it, Hisao. Now has Emmy told you where we're going? Yeah, sort of. Is it far from here? Not really, but we'll drive there to save time. It's close as kind of early. I nod in assent to stand up and ready to go. Well then, shall we? Mrs. Ibarazaki nods and leaves the room to grab her keys. Emmy, I notice, has started to fidget nervously. Second thoughts? Emmy smiles tightly at me and shrugs. She's fallen silent again, which probably means that I'm right, and she's starting to regret bringing me along. Not that I blame her. She's done such a good job of shutting me out that I doubt it's easy to suddenly open up. Honestly, I'm worried she's just forcing it. But she said she's waiting for the bus, that I'm not supposed to give her a chance to back out, since I promised to go with her anyway. I suppose there's not much of a choice. I can't go back on my promise, and she can't go back on hers. I just hope the both of us are up to it. We're off. Emmy's mother blows through the dining room, collects the two of us, and heads out the door at a brisk pace. Now I know where her daughter gets it from. Huh. Okay, so her mom's energetic too. The car pulls up at the cemetery gates, and I feel Emmy tense up beside me. So I was right. Her dad is dead. I reach over and give her a comforting squeeze, which causes her to relax a little. Emmy's mother doesn't follow us, explaining that she prefers to visit the grave alone. Emmy steps through the gates and looks back, as if to make sure I'm still there. We step into the cemetery. I don't feel comfortable in cemeteries. Gravestones litter the ground, each one serving as a reminder that someone used to be alive and is no longer. How many died young? How many were as old as I am now? When I do wind up with a marker of my own, how much longer do I have left? The concept of not waking up, not seeing Emmy anymore, is not a happy one. It frightens me, and I very nearly turn around and exit right then and there. I'm pretty sure that was written there just to be dramatic. I don't want to go among dead people. I don't want to see their stones and think about who they were and what they could have been if they'd only had more time. Then I look at the girl next to me, and my resolve returns. Emmy striding purposefully down the path, eyes clear, setting a pace that's very nearly a jog. The sooner we get there, I suspect that she thinks, the better. We're here. A gravestone, wholly unremarkable in everything except for the name etched upon it. The grass grown up around the base. Emmy's eyes are riveted to the stone. After a few moments, she turns around, looking surprisingly calm, yet solemn. Pink's not actually my favorite color, you know. What? I'm warming up to it. People tend to think that pink's my favorite color. I think it's because I like strawberries, and even though those are red, they just assume that pink's the right color for strawberries. And that's my favorite color, but it's not. I'm too polite to tell anyone otherwise, of course. It's not the kind of thing worth getting worried about, but I'll bet even you thought my favorite color was pink. Blue, that's my favorite color. My mom and dad are the only two who know that, and now you do too. Thanks for telling me, I think. You're welcome. There's a pause as she considers what to say next, drawing a quick breath. I can't carry a tune to save my life. I can hum, but actually singing a song is something I've never been able to do. I don't mind, but I'm not a fan of karaoke anyway. Well, that's one potential date idea out of the window. People all think I'm really popular and a friendly person, but you only have a few close friends, probably because I keep everyone in the dark, but I also think it's because I hate the idea of losing a close friend. There aren't many people worth the risk. I'm terrible at saying goodbye. I sometimes think that I only write because it's what I'm used to do with my father. You're not my first boyfriend. I dated a guy for a long while during my second year at Yamaku, but in the end we broke up because I didn't want to get closer to him. He couldn't live with the distance between us. Her rate of speaking increases slightly, as if she's rushing toward a finish line. I'm actually 1 year older than you. Everybody thinks I'm younger because I'm short, but I had to skip one school year because of my accident. They initially thought I was paralyzed when they pulled me out of the wreckage. I'd lost my legs already, but they were afraid I wouldn't have been able to use what was left of them. After surgery, it was clear that their initial assessment was mistaken. I couldn't feel my legs because of shock, short-term paralysis due to the other trauma I'd experienced. My recovery was one of the fastest I'd ever seen, or so they told me. I never found out if they were serious about that, or if they told me that to all patients learning to walk again. She pauses, gathering herself for one last effort. 8 years ago today, I lost my legs, and I lost my father as well. He died on the way to the hospital. I didn't even get to go to the gravesite until 2 months later, and couldn't attend his funeral. I'm so sorry. Don't be. That's what everyone always says, and that they're sorry. I hate hearing that, like anyone could have done anything to change what happened. You know, the best piece of advice I got? These things happen. I don't even remember who said it, but I guess they didn't have anything better to say. But it's true, you know? These things happen, and nothing you can do about it. They aren't necessarily planned, and they aren't always bad, they aren't always good, but they are. So I made the decision that I would live without worrying about the future, and to be sure that I ever had to say goodbye again, I decided I wouldn't let people get close to me anymore. After all, they could be taken away at any time, and you know what? She laughs a little bitterly. Her eyes start to well up with tears, and I step forward to embrace her, but she holds up a hand to stop me. Not finished. A deep breath, and she continues. It worked pretty well, until I met you and saw that you were trying to adjust stuff here, so I thought I'd help, and you were so nice, and I couldn't help it. The tears are flowing now, and she accepts the embrace this time. The rest of her sentence is mumbled into my chest. I tried not to fall for you, but I did. And then I tried to keep you at a distance, with my first boyfriend, but I couldn't. But I've been so scared, because I don't want to lose you, and I might anyway. Hey, I'm still around, right? And maybe I won't be forever. But don't you think it'll be fun while it lasts? Neither one of us could survive the day. But there could be a bus crash or something. But as long as I know that I've been with you, I don't think it matters. A sudden thought strikes me, and I can't help laughing. My condition had me scared of dying so badly that I immediately seized the opportunity Emmy presented to improve my odds of living longer. But without Emmy, would there have been any motivation to keep up my running? It hits me that Emmy is the reason I want to go running every day, so I can spend as much time with her as possible. Emmy looks at me, confused. We'll go on living until we stop, and when we stop living, we'll be able to know that at least we had time together, and I wouldn't have had it any other way, because I love you, Emmy, and right now, that's enough for me. Emmy smiles through her tears and steps back from me. You know, it's funny. What is? I thought that the best way to live in the moment was to do it alone, but now I don't think I'd have it any other way either. I'm glad I met you, Hisao. Well, these things happen. Emmy and I stay by the grave for a while, as Emmy pays her respects to her father. When she's ready to go, we exit the graveyard side by side. Emmy's mother drives us back to Yamaku. The trip back is very quiet. We wave goodbye as the car drives off, and I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs noncommittally. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. We pause outside the girls' dorm when I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye. Why don't you come up for a while? Okay, I was gonna say something that would ruin the moment, but I'm not gonna. The walk up to her room is in silence, not sure why I suppose I'd be turned away at the door. Give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys, had to take care of something. Okay, let's go back. Her mom, the nurse, hell. Everyone she knew the significance of today seemed to think it's best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in and the door swings shut behind me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? Sure, can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss that starts out soft but deepens into something almost desperate. Stay with me, please? Her voice has dropped to a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way she asked the question, and the hesitancy in it, the quiet voice, that makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me, not tonight or forever, because both of us know there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Can I stay with her? Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care, until she sits down on the edge. Oh, come on, really? Okay, guys, this part's being cut out. See you later. I'll leave a link down below if you want to watch it, but the thing is, I feel like it's going to get explicit. If it's not, then it's going to stay here, but if it is, I don't know. How much longer is there to this? Okay, guys, I think this is where I'm going to bring it back. Basically, we had sex, and she said she loves me. That's it. At least Rin didn't come in. The morning light seems to reach further into Emmy's room than it does into mine. The results in my waking up earlier than I would have had I gone back to my room last night, as had previously been our routine. I did not realize it until this morning, but this is the first time we've actually spent the night together. A small movement from my partner's still slumbering form caused me to look at the side. Her hair split across her face, and Emmy continues to sleep peacefully curled up next to me. It's slightly weird seeing her without her trademark twin tails, but it's also a look I could get used to. The small size of the bed here necessitates her curling up, but I'm pretty sure she would have done so anyway. The covers are nearly over her head, and I smile as an errant strand of hair causes her nose to twitch slightly. Unable to help myself, I draw her in a little closer, a move which she seems to think is a good idea. Her steady breath raises a trail of goosebumps on my chest, but I don't mind. I'm no longer tired, but I do not feel a need to move from my current position. Emmy's warm body in repose against mine is far too comfortable to move. I gaze up at the ceiling and consider how it is we got to this point. We've been close for a while, but not this close. It seems only like yesterday that she ran into me in the hallway after apologizing, deciding to take an interest in my well-being. But that grew into something else, which at least I was not expecting. One thing is for certain, having found Emmy, I will try as hard as I can not to lose her. My morning musing is interrupted by further movement from Emmy. Her eyes flutter open and she seems briefly confused by my presence in her bed, as well as her current state of dress, which is non-existent. I don't think I have to censor this one. Then she smiles happily and sits up, her face looking down at me. Good morning, Hisao. Hi, sleep well? Yeah, I did. Exhausting day yesterday, you know. I think back over yesterday's trip to the graveyard. Yeah, glad to hear you slept well. How'd you sleep? Well enough, although you kept hogging the covers. This earns me a shove and a stuck-out tongue. I chuckle and Emmy giggles a little, and we fall quiet for a while. I suck up the feeling of how right it all seems, waking up with Emmy by me, crammed into a bed made for one person. It's something I could get used to. Hey, Hisao? Thanks for sticking around. No problem, saving the walk back anyway, right? This draws another giggle, but then Emmy's expression turns serious again. No, really. I keep trying to push you away, because I thought it was the right thing to do, and you stuck around through it all. I haven't made any of this easy for you, but you stuck it out anyway. So really, I mean it. Thank you. She punctuates this by giving me a kiss, pulling back and looking at me with an expression of affection. I reach up and ruffle her hair, smiling all the while. I'm stupidly lucky to think to have come through everything after my heart attack, and to somehow have found this girl is nothing short of a miracle. You're very welcome, Emmy. I couldn't bear the thought of giving you up. I'll even continue to stick around if you want. I'd like that. That settles it then. I don't know how long my heart will keep working, and I don't even really know what I'll do after this year is over, apart from going to university. As long as Emmy's around, I think I'll be okay. I've managed to help her, and she's managed to help me. If we keep doing that, we'll be okay, I think. So, Hisao, what do you want to do today? Yay! Good ending! Oh god, wow. That was an emotional roller coaster. In all honesty, I was half expecting to cry, but I didn't. But that's a good thing, because as happy as this was, it had its downsides, it had its upsides, it had its peaks and valleys. It was amazing. This story is this visual novel is very well written. The music is perfect. Is a perfect accompaniment. The facial expressions, while limited, also make it perfect because like you know who to focus on. Blah blah blah. It's very well written. It's fairly predictable. Like I'm gonna put that out there. It's very predictable. It's a cliche story, but not only that. But the thing is, something about it continues to draw people in. It drew me in, and hopefully it drew you guys in too. And this game is amazing. And the choices, like I think I made the right ones as far as I know, because that seems like a good ending. And there's only good, bad, and neutral. And as far as I know, that was the good ending. Like, I don't know if it was or wasn't, because... Oh, we're back on the title screen, and I'm not exactly sure if that was the good ending or not. I'll have to look it up, and more than likely it was, because I'm pretty sure the neutral ending would have left me feeling a bit empty, and the bad ending would have made me cry. But yeah, again, if you want to experience this game for yourself, I always put the link in the description. It's a very, very good game, well written, well paced, I have to say that, because the pacing is, while slow, is very good because it gives you just the right amount of information, enough information to make assumptions, but not enough to confirm. And like, while your assumptions may more than likely be correct if you're like me, it's a good thing because that's amazing. The art style is new to me because the background just looks like a filter put over like stock photos, which for all I know it could be. And the character style is definitely one for anime, because of course this was made in Japan. And I really did look up Katawa Shoujo. It just means disabled girl. And like honestly, the story for this is amazing, and I'm gonna have to cut it here because, well, it's over. And I will continue to play this. I will go through every girl. I'm not gonna do that. There's no way I shouldn't, because it's what this game deserves. It deserves a full playthrough. It deserves a chance. And of course, if you want to play it yourself, it's free. It's just a download. And of course, if you're like me and you're uncomfortable with sexy, you can always go to the options and turn off the adult content. I'm not going to do that because full experience. But yes, it is something to behold. It is something that is great. I see nothing wrong with this game right now other than the fact that it's cliche and it's predictable, and that's just nitpicking. It's a beautiful game. The music, the soundtrack's beautiful. The character stories are beautiful. They're all like really well developed. Like there's actual emotion there. There's a reason as to why they act, and they change. The characters change in how they act towards each other. At least the characters you're focusing on anyway. So yeah, that's my piece on this game, and the game's not over yet. This is just the Emmy walkthrough. And I hope to see you guys in the next one, because I'm feeling super great right now, and I like wouldn't mind at all just continuing from now, but I'm out of time. So thank you all so much for watching. If you loved this video like I did, please leave it a like and go get the game yourself. Experience it. Don't just wait around for me to make a new part. Just experience it yourself. It's definitely worth it. And we are now exiting the Shadyverse. My name's Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. See you guys later.